So this is the third project for the Computer Fundamentals course. It's going to look like Project C in your activity list. So I'm going to start reading out the directions and we'll do the project. Number 1 says, potential investors have asked your company, the Knitting Cafe, for a document that describes how it differs from its competitors. As the assistant manager of the Knitting Cafe, you are working on the document. Start by formatting the Knitting Cafe as follows. A. Change the font to Bookman Old Style. So Knitting Cafe, font to Bookman Old Style. B. Change the font size to 18. Change the font color to orange accent 2, darker 25%. And in brackets there, it's usually good if you can't find it to follow these directions. It says 6 columns, so 6 columns are like this, rows are like this. So it says 6 column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, orange accent 2. 5th row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Darker 25%. Number 2, modify the first body paragraph. Again, it's telling you where to look, the Knitting Cafe retail area. So that's this paragraph here. A, change the line spacing to 1.5, so you can just click inside it anywhere. Here's your line spacing, 1.5. Change the paragraph spacing to 0 points after the paragraph. So to change paragraph spacing, we're going to have to click on the drop-down box here of the paragraph group. And spacing is down here. And we want to change after from 8 down to 0. So that made this paragraph a little closer. Number 3, to emphasize the Knitting Cafe's objectives, format the 4 paragraphs beginning. To offer a welcome, it's right here. Ending, respect and delight, that's down here. Okay, so they want us to format these 4 paragraphs as a numbered list using the numbering style 1 bracket, comma 2 bracket, comma 3 bracket. Alrighty, so we're going to change it to a numbered list. Numbering. Look for the 1 in the bracket. There we go. Number 4, format the retail highlights heading so it matches the other 2 program headings as follows. Retail highlights, that's this one. Right along the paragraph. Add a top border. Change the paragraph spacing to 24 points before the paragraph. Okay, so our paragraph spacing is in our drop down. And now it wants us to change the spacing before the paragraph, which right now it's 0. They want it to turn into 24. So it adds a big space before this paragraph here. Number 5, to format subheadings consistently, use the Format Painter to copy the formatting from the Macintosh Yarns heading. That's this one here. To the following headings, Chatre Yarn, which is this one, and Notable Accessories and Supplies, which is this one. All right, so Format Painter is a little bit different. So you're going to highlight the word or the format that you want, and then you're going to click on Format Painter right here. And then you're going to see a paintbrush with your insertion point. Make sure that you highlight exactly what it is you want to change. There you go. So it changed Chatre Yarn into the same format that Macintosh Yarns has. Now they want you to change Notable Accessories and Supplies into the same format. So I would just go straight up to Format Painter again, keeping that same format. Here's your paintbrush again. You're going to highlight this heading and voila. Number 6, for the italicized paragraph, Macintosh Yarns are ideal, ... textured designs. It's this one here. Okay, so we're looking right here. Change the indent left to 0.5 and the indent right to 0.5 to set the paragraph apart and the surrounding paragraphs. All right, so to change indents, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the drop down for paragraph, and indentation is right here. So they want the left to be 0.5 and the right to be 0.5. There we go. All I did was click inside to bring up the change. I didn't have to highlight. You can if you want, but you don't have to. You can just click inside. Number 7. For the italicized paragraph, the Knitting Cafe has more cool stuff for knitters than you could ever imagine. Right here. Increase the indent by 1 level to make it easy to find on the page. So again, just click inside anywhere, that's fine. And increase indent by 1 level means just click it once. There you go. Number 8. Format the 3 paragraphs beginning colonial needles and ending art fair knitting bags and baskets. That's these right here. As a bulleted list using the default bullet style. All right, so if they want a bulleted list, defaulted, we're just going to click right here. Number 9, on page 2, use the check mark bullet style for the bulleted list, beginning borrow 35,000 and ending through discounted sales. So we're going to highlight these 3. We're going to change it from the default bullet to the check mark. So we'll click on the drop down arrow, find the check mark, and click on it. Number 10, format the 3 paragraphs beginning Tracy Cullen, co-owner, and ending in Jeremy Moore, cafe manager, as follows. So we're going to highlight the 3 of them. It says insert a left 1.5 tab stop for all 3 paragraphs. So tab stops are found in the same place as the indents and paragraph spacing. The drop down for your paragraph group and click on the tabs button on the bottom. Just type in 1.5 here. Also, make sure that your computer is in inches and not centimeters. You will see 0.5 inches here. If it's in inches, you'll see something different if it's in centimeters. There's also a video on World Class to show how to change from inches to centimeters if you do happen to find yourself in centimeters. All right, so right now, if you look up to the top of the ruler, you'll see a little gray L. That means that the tab stop is set at 1.5. And it's 10B says insert a tab immediately before each position name. So co-owner, and cafe manager to align the text with new tab stops. So what that wants you to do is put your insertion point right in front of the name, click the tab button on your keyboard, and that aligns it up with the tab stop at 1.5. There you go. Number 11, apply the paragraph shading, orange accent 2, lighter 40%. Again, it shows you where to find it to. To the paragraph, please contact an owner for more information. It's this one here. So they want us to change the paragraph shading. So not the font, not that one there. Instead, the paragraph shading is going to look like a tipped over paint can shading. Click on the drop down arrow and we will find it now, and the directions say to look in the 6th column, 4th row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4th row, 1, 2, 3, 4. Lighter 40%. All right. Number 12, resize the picture at the end of the document to a height of 2 inches and a width of 2 inches. Again, make sure your computer is in inches and not centimeters. And in order to change the sizing of the picture, you're going to need to click on it. You'll notice that these dots came up out around it. And when that happens, you'll have new tools called picture tools on the far right hand side of your toolbar up top. Click on those, and you'll see on the far right hand side you got a size group here. So you can just change that to 2 and 2. The reason why the width changed along with the height was because lock aspect ratio is a default, which means it always tries to make it look appropriate and symmetrical. So the height, if I change the height, the width will change as well. To change them independently, you would have to take off lock aspect ratio. We don't have to do this right now, but later on in other courses with me, they will teach you how to do that. Number 13, apply the offset diagonal bottom right picture effect. So we're still playing around with the picture, meaning I'm going to have to click back on that picture to get my picture tools up at the top. Apply a picture effect. It says from the outer section of the shadow picture effect gallery. Here's my picture effects, and it says in the shadow, in the outer section, I need to look for offset diagonal bottom right. So this is the slow part. You have to just hover over. Offset diagonal bottom right. Oh, okay. Depending, the hint there on the bottom, I can see why mine looks different than the instructions. The hint says, depending on your version of Office, the picture effect may display as offset bottom right. So I'm going to have to use the hint and go with offset bottom right. There we go. Subtle difference. Now the last thing we do is save our file. Again, go to File, Save As. I'm going to change that 1 to a 2 and go to Browse. Make sure that I save it in my documents. Make sure that's _2. Perfect. Save. Awesome. And you'll see up at the top that your name's changed.